All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Uh, as we stated before, we're going to go ahead and make an effort to finish up here on Get Smart from now until probably the middle of the year. Uh, we still plan on doing our mops at periodic times, just different times. Like I said, Larry of Beers of Adventure, my brother of 50 years plus, will be the first co host I'll have to talk about a play uh, known as Jesus Christ Superstar. Uh, so, yeah, that'll come up after February 1st next month. But for now, I did make a promise that I would try to finish that it will finish eventually doing Get Smart and then going into the Get Smart movies. I have it all planned out. So let me go ahead and before I read that, like I said, we were going to start about 2 minutes. So we're getting started right about now. All right. First in the box, we do have our brother Kevin. Kevin's Theme Park Adventures over there in Cali. Okay, sir. And he says, and thumbs up. Thank you, sir. I said, hey, brother Kevin, welcome. He says, hey, Mikey. Kevin said, I did see on the TV, on the news, that 15 vehicles crashed on the freeway on a freeway in California. That's honestly like crazy, man. People shouldn't be driving fast on the freeway. Well, too fast, but yeah, they really need to slow down. Well, they need to slow down so they can follow established speed limits, right? Whatever. Every, you know what? I may not have lived in California for very long, but I did make a few trips, with my folks, and then I drove through it, with Suzanne when I drove her back here, and bring her back to Canada, to Toronto. And every freeway, it seems like in California, is so diverse. They have like so many different speed limits. It's ridiculous, man. It's totally crazy. Yeah, I said, wow, man, people are always rush, rush, rush. They are, man. They never slow down. Nobody does. Yeah. Anyway, okay, let me get to this real quick. So, for the next 4 days in a row, well, not in a row, 2 days this week, today, right now, then tomorrow, sometime Tuesday, and then the following Monday, Tuesday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. So, we're going to do that for like 4 straight weeks. Okay. So tonight we're doing a review of episodes 19 and 20. 21 and 22 will be on Tuesday. Then next Monday will be 23, 24. And then the following Tuesday will be 25, 26. So we'll get through season 3. We'll finish that out. And then we'll periodically, as I said, we'll do about, uh, 4 reviews a week, 2 days in a row, usually Monday, Tuesday, and 4 episodes in a row. So say like that when we start with season 4, episodes 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and so on. There is approximately, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's approximately 60 more episodes of the original series because it did last 5 seasons. So, from 1965 to 1970. Now, after this, it's going to be a little bit different schedule. Uh, let's see. We got Lemon Pie here. Hello, Sir Lemon. Hi, Mikey. Hello to Kevin and hello to Suze. Thank you for saying hello to Suze. Yeah, she's sleepy. She's tired. Yeah, she's sleeping. Okay. All right. So after we finish the 60 episodes we have left to finish of the original Get Smart, there is a movie called The Nude Bomb, which came out in 1980. Now, that movie did not feature Barbara Feldon as Agent 99. Um, they basically, well, when we get to that, I'll explain why. But basically, it had something to do with finances. And if she had decided to take a pay cut for it, she probably wouldn't have done the movie anyway. But I'll get to that. I'll explain it. So we're going to do one set review. And I just decided to go webcam and we'll do it that way. Because this is weird how it works out. Is how, okay, so the Nude Bomb is 1980. And then the next thing we'll do for one review, So I think we could basically, yeah. Whoa, hello. Okay, so I figured basically we could go ahead and do both of those two movies as a review, right? As two reviews. The Nude Bomb in from 80, and then Get Smart again in 1989. That was a ABC TV movie. Now, if you recall, I mentioned previously, ABC was one of the networks that rejected Get Smart and wouldn't do it. But then they decided to do a TV movie 9 years later, which, you know, after the Nude Bomb didn't do so well in the box office, but but some of the popularity was still there. And since the original, since Don Adams and Feldon were still alive, even though they had another guy that stood in for Chief because Edward Platt had died, right? So there will be like end credits where they say dedicated to the Chief. I'll explain that too. So we'll have those two movies, and then we're going to have 7 episodes. Now, here's how I'm going to do it. The Get Smart renewal that came back in 1995 featured, Don Adams, Barbara Feldon, Andy Dick played his son Zach Smart, and then Elaine Hendricks. I've been trying to remember this lady's name forever. Plays Jessica, and so they're out there, and they did 7 episodes, not 6. So that's good to know. So yeah, and remember I was calling it the naked bomb. It's the nude bomb. So I wasn't too far off. I just got the wrong word, but that's what it is. And so yeah, so what we'll do on that is we'll do it's only one season. It only lasted 7 episodes, as I said. So we're gonna do like season 1, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and then 6, 7. And I think in 6 or 7 or maybe 5, Bernie Coppell returns as the leader of Chaos for one episode. Yeah, which is so cool. Okay, and then finally, the one review, and which will be our grand finale review, will be for 2008's reboot or remake of Get Smart, which featured Steve Carell as Maxwell Smart, Anne Hathaway as Agent 99, Alan Arkin as Chief, Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Agent 23, I think it was. And then you had David Ketchum for his last final appearance as Agent 13 in a cameo. I think there was a few people that showed up in that as cameos. So, yeah. So that is our whole schedule. That's what we got for the rest of this year. Uh, then I said in February, if we have time to fit, I think we will. Um, we'll have some of the mops, different live streams we'll try to do. And I will try to get Jim and possibly Jim's Landscape and possibly Sci-Fi Nation, and if I can get Larry, that'd be great to get Larry. And we'll do the Star Trek New Voyages with James Colley, the 10 episodes of that, and then we'll also work on the 11 episodes, all 11 of Vic Minona's Star Trek Continues. So yeah, when we start talking about Star Trek, I want to get some of the friends I know that really watched Star Trek, and Jim and Jay, Sci-Fi Nation, are 2 of them, and I'd like to get Larry to join us too. So the 4 of us would do that. Right? Okay. So yeah, Lemon said hi, Mikey. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Suze. Hi, Suze. Uh, Lemon also says hi, Deja Vu and Moon Pie. So cute. And Lemon also said Andy Dick, a flamboyant fella. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I agree with you there. I totally agree. Yeah, but I was so upset that, like I said, that reboot didn't last more than 7 episodes. And Elaine Hendricks wasn't a bad looking lady to be Zach's partner, right? So, yeah, kind of weird. I'm sorry, I had to take a drink. I think they were just trying to renew the concept for modern day, right? Because it was made in 1995, those episodes. I think they were trying to get it to go into modern day. But, when you've already had, you know, a movie that bombed, literally, right? And then 89 was a TV movie. It did okay, but not great, right? And then you had those 7 episodes. I think by that time people were tired of it. But then in 2008, Steve Carell used some of his own money to bring it back, and he wanted to be the role of Agent 86. And, well, you guys and gals know how that ended up, in 2008. It was in that period of the 2000s where they were trying to reboot or remake TV series, like they tried with A Team and that didn't work with Liam Neeson. So yeah, things like that. Starsky and Hutch, they tried that. They tried Dukes of Hazzard. They had all sorts of crap. I mean, they tried a lot of things. That was insane. Okay, so here, as you all know, this is how we do this. Now, when we go into trivia, we're just going to go through the main parts of trivia. Now, here's what I'm establishing. If there are only less than five, and I mean this truly, if there's only less than five more like trivia bits that I will do, I'll just go ahead and do them. I'll just say them because I'm not doing any goofs. Okay, I am treating this just like I did with the original Star Trek series. I'm sure that if there's goofs about each of these episodes, it may number a lot. However, yeah, so I won't go into goofs at all. If there's any crazy credits, I will mention them. If there's any soundtrack, like if there's a different song or something in the episode, I will certainly mention that. And I believe that this was filmed at Paramount, um, you know, so I'm sure the same location, but they might have different locations where they did filming and production outdoors. So if that's the case, I will mention that too. So I know that's a lot to take in, guys and gals, but hopefully you'll stick with me. And Suzanne is, of course, supervising. And I hope you'll stick with us and enjoy these little reviews. You might even learn some things about Get Smart you never knew before, right? Because, you know, there's things I've always discovered about different series just going into them and seeing, what went on behind the scenes and things like that. And it's just, and it's very cool. It's very good. And yes, I'm awake, so I really can't I can't stop talking right now. But as soon as I crash, well, here's the thing. I figured if I just do this like very early, then I figured yes, I will get a chance to rest because I haven't been feeling too well lately. So have some prayers up for me and Sue's, okay, for our health wise. Yeah, make sure everything's okay. That would be much appreciated, believe me. Okay, we got 3 likes. We got 3 people watching, so let's get to it. All right. So, the first one, as I said, we're covering tonight. For tonight, 2 episodes. One is 99 Loses Control, which is from season 3, as I said, episode 19. That premiered on Saturday, February 17th, 1968, just a few days after Valentine's Day. In the episode, Agent 99 accepts a marriage proposal from a handsome and wealthy suitor, but Max finds out that he is actually a chaos agent. It is also one of the most top rated episodes of season 3 with an 8.4 out of 10. So, I gave it a straight up A. So I went ahead and put it up the next 0.6 and gave it a straight A. But a B plus from over 229 people who had watched the episode. And then the second one we'll look at tonight is episode 20, which is called The Wax Max. And that premiered the following weekend, Saturday, February 24th, 1968. And even during a day off at an amusement park, 86 and 99 find a chaos operation. And 197 people voted this 7.5 out of 10, which is basically a C plus. Yeah, I would say I gave it a B minus. I went up just a little bit to go the next level, and because it really is a bit better than a C. So Plus, there's this big henchman in it, who takes on Max. So, yeah, it's not too bad. All right. And as I said, also, we will take a look at least two people, whether they're stars of the episodes or, additional stars that you might not have heard about before. And we'll talk about them as well. So, okay. So, the director of this episode is Bruce Bilson. The writers were William Rayner and Miles Wilder. Of course, it featured your usual trio of characters: Don Adams, Agent 86, Maxwell Smart, Barbara Feldon, Agent 99, and Edward Platt as Chief. Now, we will look at Jacques Bergerac, who plays Victor Royal, the one that proposes to Agent 99. And then we will also look at another Frenchman in this episode, Maurice Marsac, who plays Louis. And let's see if there's anybody else we recognize. Okay, Bob Hope does a uncredited cameo as a room service attendant, the Bob Hope. So very cool that was seeing. And then of course they had Larrabee, played by Robert Carvelis. And then you had Rose McTom, who plays a gambler, uncredited, as well as Larrabee. And let's see. And I believe that's it. Yeah, just the ones we recognize. And then, of course, that, cameo by Bob Hope. And it's Bob Hope when you see him. So, all right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at trivia. Okay. And we only have a couple of things of trivia, so very cool. We do have one spoiler. Remember, if you want to put your hands over your ears for the spoiler, I'll just say spoiler, and then you go from there. Okay, first appearance. This is the first appearance of a touch-tone telephone in the series, albeit without the, the number symbol and the star buttons. It is in the chief's office. Victor Royal's Casino is a reference to Ian Fleming's first 007 novel, Casino Royale, which at the time had already been adapted for television once. You remember with 1954's Climax, which featured Jimmy Bond, played by Barry Nelson, and then it was about to hit cinemas as a goof. Remember, that one brought back Ursula Andress from Dr. No, filmed in 1960s or came out in 1967, and it featured three different Bonds played by David Niven, Woody Allen, and Peter Sellers. So, yeah, very cool. And it says here that Bob Hope appears in this episode as a waiter. So there you go, a room service attendant. Okay, here's the spoiler. 99 states that her real name is Susan Hilton, but at the end of the episode, she tells Max that it is not her real name, but just a cover name she was using. Despite this, many trivia books and games give Susan Hilton as the answer to what was Agent 99's real name. So now you know her name as Susan Hilton. There you go. Alrighty. Okay, so checking the soundtracks and crazy credits, we don't see anything. So let's take a look at the filming and production. And as always, it is filmed at Paramount Studios. They're at 5555 Melrose Avenue in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. And I'll only mention that the one time. So whenever I say Paramount Studios, you'll know the address and where in Hollywood it is. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the two. And remember, Mel Brooks and Buck Henry are still the creators of the Get Smart series. Okay, so Jacques Bergerac, let's look at him. Okay. All right, according to IMDb background information, unfortunately, we did lose the actor Jacques Bergerac back in 2014. He was actually born May 26, 1927 in Biarritz, Pyrenees, Atlantiques in France. He died June 15th, 2014. He was the age of 87, and he died in Anglet, Pyrenees Atlantiques, France, almost near the same place that he was born. An actor known for Gigi in 1958, Mission Spéciale Lady Chaplin in 1966, and Un homme s'est penché sur son passé in 1958. He was married twice, to Dorothy Malone and Miss Ginger Rogers. So, 87 years old. Okay, in 1958 in the movie Gigi, he played Sandomir. In the Mission Spéciale Lady Chaplin, he played Cobray Zoltan in 66. In 57, in Les Girls, he played Pierre Duclos. And in 1958, in the Un homme s'est penché sur son passé, he played Jacques Monge. Ah, nice. The last thing he worked on, it was he did one episode of the Doris Day Show TV series. And that in 1969, he played Claude Lemaire. And in that, he was in an episode called Doris Strikes Out, Season 2, Episode 8. Oh, here's something else cool. Freddy the Fence, or also known as French Freddy Touche, in the Batman TV series for 2 episodes from 67 to 68. He did season 2, episode 50. Batman displays his knowledge as French Freddy Touche. And in season 3, he appeared with Minerva, played by the beautiful Zsa Zsa Gabor. Season 3, episode 26, Freddy the Fence was his name, in Minerva, Mayhem, and Millionaires in 68. So that is so cool. And I knew I'd recognize them. So Jacques Bergerac. Rest in peace, mon ami. All right, so the next one is Maurice Marsac. So we'll look at him. Okay, Maurice Marsac, we did lose him in 2007. One of the things he appeared in was the New Avengers with Patrick McNee from 76 to 1977. It says here Maurice was born on March 23rd, 1915 in Croix, Nord, France. Croix, Nord, France. He was an actor known for The Jerk in 1979, which featured, of course, the great Steve Martin, Against All Flags in 1952, and The Caddy in 1953. He was married to one lady, Melanie Marsac. He died on 6th May 2007 in Santa Rosa, California. He passed at the age of 92. So, very good life for him. All right, in The Jerk, which featured Steve Martin, he played a French waiter in 79. Then back in 1952, Against All Flags, he was Captain Moison. Yep, I got that, Moison. In The Caddy in 53, he was Mr. Gaston Lemon, or, I'm sorry, Leron, Leron. Not you, Lemon. Okay. All right, and then in the New Avengers, he played 3 different roles in 1977. During season 2, he was, and he played actually 2 different roles. Okay, so in the Lion and the Unicorn episode, season 2, episode 4, he was Leparge, and then he appeared in 2 straight episodes, part 1 and 2. Season 2, episode 8 is K is for Kill, part 1, The Tiger Awakes. He plays General Gaspar, and then he comes back for part 2, which is called Tiger by the Tail, and he plays General Gaspar. So, very cool. Let's see. The very last thing he worked on was the new Dragnet, In 1987, or I'm sorry, the movie Dragnet, which they rebooted and brought back, Joe Friday, but Dan Aykroyd played him, and then there was Tom Hanks who played his partner, and in that movie in 1987 he played a maitre d', so that was his final role. Oh, and here's something cool. Uh, I want to mention that he did appear in the A Team because we just finished the A Team series last year. In 1986, he was in one episode, which was season 5, episode 11, and he played a guy named Frederick. That was in 1986, called The Spy Who Mugged Me, which was a kind of a parody on The Spy Who Loved Me, right? From the Bond films. So, yeah. So, rest in peace, mon ami, Maurice Marsac. All right. 2 Frenchmen. Very cool. All right, so let's see. Let's go back here. Take a look at our next episode we're reviewing tonight, the Wax Max. All right. And let's go ahead and see who else we have here. Sir Lemon says, I rate your French pronunciation a 7 out of 10. I guess that's a good score, considering I really have never spoken much French in my lifetime. You know, I mean, I really wouldn't be able to form sentences. You know what I mean, Sir Lemon? I wouldn't be able to do that, or go in paragraphs or thing like that. I could probably ask them. If I was in Paris with Suzanne, I could probably ask them, "Where's the bathroom? Where's the boutique for her? Where's the cafe? Things like that."
Thanks
Probably.
for the compliment.
Yeah, the boutique for you, honey.
Thanks for the compliment.
Oh, you're welcome, honey.
Oh, tell that to Lemon too.
Oh, Lemon, thank you so much for the compliment, Suzanne said also. That's pretty nice. Yeah, Lemon says it's pretty good. Maybe it deserves an even higher score. Yeah, maybe so. Well, no, I did give it a higher score. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I gave it an that episode. I did give it an A. I gave it an A grade. It's one of the few. Yeah, I did raise it. So I give you the rank of baguette. Citron. Yeah, there you go. Right. I know what a baguette is. Yeah. It's, you know what? A baguette is just as good as a croissant. That too. Don't forget those. Or crepe Suzette. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to Wax Max. Try to get into English. Okay, the director is James Comack. He also wrote the episode. And let's see. Usual cast of characters. Okay, so the Waxman is played by Richard Devon. We'll go ahead and take a look at him. And then there's some guy who calls himself Dracula in this episode, and the actor's name is Robert Ridgely. So we'll actually look at them. So let's see. All right. Okay, so in this one we have just a couple bits of trivia, and then we have one spoiler. Okay. Excuse me. Dracula in this installment was played by the superb character voice actor Robert Ridgely. He played Boris the Hangman in Mel Brooks' comedy western Blazing Saddles and many other roles. The director of this episode, James Comack, played photographer Uncle Norman in MGM's The Courtship of Eddie's Father, starring Bill Bixby and Brandon Cruz. We know that. And then spoilers, Max impersonates Ronald Coleman as Sidney Carton in A Tale of Two Cities as he goes to the guillotine. Nice. Alrighty. Let's see. Well, nothing else much this one. So we'll be done for tonight. This will be it. And when, like I said, we'll go over the 2 gentlemen we mentioned. Okay. Now there is one other filming location besides Paramount Studios. They also filmed outdoors at Pacific Ocean Park, which is located in Santa Monica, California. So that is so cool. All right. Cool. So they do film outdoors, occasionally. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look first at Richard Devon. All right. Okay, unfortunately, we did lose Richard Devon in 2010. He worked as both an actor, writer, and he also worked on soundtrack for movies. He was in Machine Gun Kelly, an old movie from 1958. Richard Devon wanted to be an actor from the time he was in first grade and played a small part in a school production. After finishing high school, he answered a small ad in a Los Angeles newspaper for a school that offered training to the novice actor. This drama school, called Stage 8, allowed him to work his way through as he hadn't the money for tuition. He painted walls, he built sets, he waxed floors, and he strung lights. It was during this time that he made his first live television appearance for an experimental TV program. His birth date was December 11th, 1926, and he did pass away on February 26th, 2010, at the age of 83. Okay. Now, he appeared in the Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry series, Dirty Harry franchise of movies. In 1973, he appeared as Roca in Magnum Force. In 1958, he was Dr. Paul Van Ponder in a movie called War of the Satellites. In 1958, he also appeared in Bad Man's Country as Harvey Logan. And then in the TV series Planet of the Apes, based off the movies, in season 1, episode 9, called The Horse Race, he plays a character named Xandar. Nice. All right, and according to the IMDb background, the last thing he worked on was one episode of a TV series called Midnight Caller, where he plays a character named Martin Longo. And that was from 1991, and it was season 3, episode 11, called That's Amore. See, so you can't escape that French. There you go. All right, so rest in peace, Mr. Devon. All right. And now for our last person we're looking at, Robert Ridgely, the voice actor. All right. And not only was he a voice actor, but he also worked as a regular actor, writer, and he worked on soundtrack. And he did pass away in 1997. He also appeared in a movie with Melanie Griffith called Something Wild in 1986. Okay, so vocal artist and character actor supreme Robert Ridgely was born on December 24th, 1931, under the name of Robert Ritterbusch in New Jersey. Ridgely started out as a cabaret entertainer. In the late 1950s, he recorded 45 RPM singles for Decca Records under the name of Bob Ritterbusch, and as Bob Ritterbusch and Robert Ridgely after changing his name to the latter. He began his television acting career in the early 1960s with guest appearances on such TV shows as Surfside 6 from 1960, Sea Hunt in 1958, and Maverick. He died on February 8th, 1997, at the age of 65. Okay. Now, in 1997, he appeared for what ended up being, one of his last times. He was in the Mark Wahlberg movie Boogie Nights as the Colonel James. In 1987, he was the Mayor Egan in that second movie from the Beverly Hills Cop franchise, Beverly Hills Cop 2. He did appear also as the Hangman. If you all remember that from the Mel Brooks movie Robin Hood Men in Tights from 1993. He was so funny in that. And then in 1993, he appeared in the movie that featured Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington about the gay lawyer, the gay man in that Philadelphia. That's an award-winning movie. He played Walter Kenton in that movie. All right. And he did a posthumous appearance in Matthew and Ophelia's Wonderful World of Fun in their TV series, where he appeared in the movie. He appeared briefly in The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, and he also did a voice of a snake. And that episode came out in 2020, and the name of the episode was season 1, episode 9, Matthew, Ophelia, Puff, and the Land of Living Lies. And like I said, it featured a Baron Munchausen, a snake, a cowboy, prosecuting attorney. So he voiced all 4 of those posthumously. So very cool. All right. And he was working on a TV series. I'll mention this too. His voice as Bob Ridgely in the Fantastic Voyages of Sinbad the Sailor in the TV series from 96 to 98. So he was working on this before he died. He was in 6 episodes. Season 1, episode 19, called Land of the Tiny Warriors. Then in 1998, he was in season 1, episode 3, called Curse of the Gorgon. Episode 5, called The Lost City of Aquatica. And then it says that technically, it doesn't give the year, but technically he also did 3 more voices. Season 1, episode 1, they did say he was in the beginning. Season 1, episode 7, The Triangle of Doom. And from episode 9, The Imp of Evil. So he actually did voices on those different episodes, I guess, and then he passed away. Yeah, that's kind of sad. All right, so Robert Ridgely, rest in peace. As I said, he was 65. Okay. All right, so before we, like I said, we'll announce the 2 episodes tomorrow. And I wish. And Lemon says, Crepe Suzette, is that your pet name for your lady? No, I wish, but no. Her name is Suzanne. That's her beautiful name. Or Suze for me. Machine Gun Kelly is also a white rapper. That's true. Yes, that's true. Glad you picked that up there, Lemon. Yeah. I thought you would be able to recognize when I said the name. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a modern day rapper, right? I think he's still around. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think he's still around. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so we have tomorrow, sometime on Tuesday. We'll do the next 2 episodes, 21 and 22 from season 3. 21 is called Operation Ridiculous. All right. And then the other one, 22, is called Spy, Birdie, which makes fun of Bye Bye Birdie. That is cute. And I believe this also features Bernie Capel as Siegfried in it. So, and it got a very high rating. So cool. Yeah. Anytime, I found that out too in the series. Anytime you had Bernie Capel there appear as Siegfried, their ratings seem to go up better. Right? And then of course he becomes the Doc, he becomes Doc in the Love Boat, right? So, yeah, I mean, he was just such a gifted actor. Bernie Capel was. I'm just so sad that he's gone. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're done tonight for that. Okay. So first of all, I want to thank Sir Lemon Pie for taking care of our chat tonight for us, and of course, Mr. Brother Kevin Theme Park Adventures for being here. And I am sorry about those people in the crashed vehicles. So we will include them, of course, and everybody in the world, our prayer for the world and all of our friends. We have 61 friends now, extended family members, not just subs, but they are in ChattyBloggerMS community. 61 people. So we're doing really well. We are actually trying to build up the base of friends and family and so forth. And like I said, we're only 39 from 100. But our next goal really is 70. So if we can get to 70 first, 70 next, that would be great. Yeah. All right. So 4 likes. We got 3 people still watching our show right now. So very cool. All right. So again, I'll take my glasses off here real quick. And I'll make sure I cross these out so I don't need to repeat them. And I am really glad that all of you folks are going to stay with us as we go through our final pop culture series review this year. Like I said, then we will work on our MOPS project doing the musicals, operas, and plays series with special guests, special panelists to co host, talk about their experiences on a particular musical, opera, or Broadway play. And then also, like I said, I'm going to try to get a couple of our community members that are well versed in Star Trek to help me with the fan films. Now, according to most people, they are not canon, right? I understand there aren't canon, but I'll never forget what Eugene Roddenberry Jr., or Rod, as they call him, said to Kali and Monona. He said to them, but they could be canon. He says, if my dad were alive, if Gene Roddenberry was alive, he'd let them be canon. He could make them episodes. So that to me says a lot. It really does. So very cool. Very cool. All right. So tomorrow we've got 21 and 22. I will work on those tomorrow, sometime on Tuesday. And like I said, we'll just keep doing these 2 days a week, two episodes per day, until we get close, until we finish. And who knows, on any of the movies that I'll be reviewing, maybe on the 2 movies, the first two, The Nude Bomb and Get Smart Again, the TV movie, uh, I might have somebody join me to talk about those. Hopefully, I can find someone for that remember those films, because those go back a while. Maybe Larry, because Larry knows. Curtis also knows it, so I might be able knows about them. So I might be able to get Curtis Selby to join us too, and we can talk about those 2 films. That would be very cool if we could do that. But of course, that won't happen until we get through the final 2 seasons of the original series, and then we'll go on. Like I said, we're going to go in chronological order when these films and the other 7 episodes from Fox with the new Get Smart that premiered. So yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, our prayer, of course, goes out to the world. Hope that things will turn out better. If we can avoid as many natural disasters or unalive people or things like that as possible. Um, I did hear today that ICE might be moving to Arizona. If that's the case, that is going to be hell. That is going to be true hell on earth, because Governor Hobbs is seriously considering that she wants to bring them to Phoenix. And you've already seen what happened in Minnesota, right? You already seen what happened there. So if you get Hobbs to bring them over there to Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale, Mesa, any of those towns, that there are unfortunately, a lot of illegals that try to establish residency, but they can't. And it's a terrible, terrible situation. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, let's pray for everybody's safety. Let's hope that ICE does not go anywhere near Arizona, my past home. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Okay. And of course, like I said, we'll pray for all 61 of our wonderful extended family members here for ChattyBloggerMS, as well as our other members of our family, extended family, immediate family, friends, and relatives and acquaintances. Okay. and nieces and nephews and all that. Okay, I think I covered everybody. All right, so on behalf of my beautiful wife, Suzanne, myself, my beautiful cat, and our beautiful cats, Moon Pie and Deja Vu, I thank all of you for being here tonight. As you remember, my wife always says, leave everything in God's hands. Larry, my best friend and brother for 50 plus years, always says, always be yourself. And of course, my friends and brothers, Jim's Landscape and Matt Arnold. And Matt, we are going to work next week to try to get you to get that 1v1 with me. We're still trying to reach Lizzie Armstrong, and right now it's very hard to find her. So I'm not sure how we're able to reach her yet, but we'll try. We'll do the best we can. But I would like you to prepare yourself. I'll try to reach you over Facebook Messenger, sir, brother. To if you want to go ahead and do a 1v1 this week, let me know. Okay. Yeah, message me first if you can, Matt. And if you would like to, let me know when and time and what time would be good for you. We could do that. Okay. So on behalf of both Matt and Jim, they always help me out with this meme, which says, "Remember, you'll never know where you'll hear or see me next. So make sure you keep that notification bell on." This little thing right here. There you go. So yeah, make sure you keep that little thing rang so that you can be notified of all future events, such as a podcast or a live webcam like this, or a live stream in the future. So for our channel. And of course, peace. So, like I said, on behalf of all of us, everybody have a great rest of your week. Catch us sometime tomorrow on the flip side for the next two episodes of Get Smart, the original series. And also keep an eye out for me on the Hill Jack Happy Hour every 2 weeks at 11:30 p.m. With my friends Sabrina and Seth. Check that out. Also, it seems like maybe every week, so maybe every Saturday at 5:35 p.m. Eastern, if I'm still working with my brother Chance Bartels of the Nostalgic Pod Blast. Check us out this week because we're going to be talking this weekend, next Saturday, because we're going to be talking about uh, each Saturday. We're going to try to cover the three major networks: ABC, CBS, and NBC, and we're going to be talking about the history of ABC and how the evil Disney Mouse, the company, the evil Mickey, and everybody else took it over, and what is a part of it now. So it should be interesting. I have my own opinions, believe me, about that. So, amen from Lemon. Thank you, Lemon. So again, thank you, Lemon. Thank you, brother Kevin. Both of you. Thank you, my beautiful wife, for always supporting me in everything we do. And like I said, and now the aisle's closed from that wonderful Gene Siskel of the family and the foundation as part of Siskel and Ebert at the movies. So. All right. One more time. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Rest of your day, rest of this week, rest of this month, and the rest of the year. And hopefully everything goes well. And God bless you all. We'll talk again on at ChattyBloggerMS, which stands for Mikey Sue's. Take care, everybody. Good night to you, Lemon. Thank you, sir. Thank you again for helping us out.